Greetings, my dear friends. My name is Henrik. I hope you are well and feel good wherever you are. Welcome to everyone listening from around the world. This is independent radio for independent and free-thinking individuals. And we are thrilled that you want to spend some time with us today as we go searching for answers to some of the puzzles in this world and beyond. We always put the guest first and the topic first so that you can decide for yourself what to make of the material presented. Paul LaViolette's work is extensive in areas such as cosmology, physics, astronomy, climatology, and geology. His work has taken him into studying ancient cosmic cataclysmic cycles, galactic core explosions, black holes, gamma-ray bursts, subquantum kinetics, and the decoding of the Sphinx Stargate zodiacal cryptogram. He received his Bachelor's of Arts in Physics from Johns Hopkins University, his Master's in Business Administration from the University of Chicago, and a PhD from Portland State University. And he is currently the president of the Starburst Foundation. His websites are etheric.com and starburstfound.org. He's written Earth Under Fire, Humanity's Survival of the Ice Age, Genesis of the Cosmos, The Ancient Science of Continuous Creation, Secrets of Anti-Gravity Propulsion, Tesla UFOs and Classified Aerospace Technology, The Talk of the Galaxy, an ET Message for Us All, and Decoding of the Message of the Pulsar. And also he has a few DVDs available on his website, etheric.com. We have Paul with us for 1 hour today, and this program is like a primer, a short introduction to some of his work. We dive into Earth Under Fire first and talk about ice ages, galactic superwave theory, myths and legends about these events in the past. We move on to discuss intelligent design of the cosmos and suppression of this kind of scientific work. We also spend time talking about his latest studies on subquantum kinetics, and there is so much in Paul's work that is intriguing and of interest, so stay with us. I really love your book Earth Under Fire, by the way. And I hope that we can talk more about that later. We have some other things that we want to get into here today as well, of course. You have many different works out there, publications, and you're very broad in your research. You cover a lot of ground, but I would say that Earth Under Fire is that sets the story pretty good for us, so to speak, in terms of chronology. That when you begin and talk about extinctions of events that have happened in the past on Earth and so forth. Maybe you could talk a little bit about Earth Under Fire. When you wrote that, when that came out, and how the work have been received since that point, Paul?
I started actually writing the book, 1983, and it was based on my PhD work, which I did from 76 through 83. And the book finally came out in 97. It was the second of a series. There's a series of 3 books. It started with Genesis of the Cosmos and Earth Under Fire, and then Decoding the Message of the Pulsars. And Earth Under Fire was more focused on these cataclysms that recur periodically to the Earth, and also goes into the mythologies associated with them, like stories of the flood, or the burning of the earth by the sun, darkening of the stars. And what I was doing is giving a scientific explanation for what happened. And that's the work I did for my PhD.
And you go through different varieties of mythology as well. One thing that I appreciate is that you go through the Eddas as well, the Norse mythology as well,
right.
and talk about Loki and Heimdall and all that too. And would you say that around the world we're basically talking about the same story, but different people of the ancient world wrote about the same kind of events? Would you say that that's the case?
Exactly. Yeah. It's something that affected the whole planet, and so survivors of the event pass down stories to their children, and you find a lot of similarities from different cultures. Like the flood story, you find it all over the earth. And a lot of similarities about one or two or three people surviving in a boat. Either it's made from hollowing out a log, or it might be an ark they create, or some cases they actually go underground. So there's various variations.
And do you think that that's a true story then? Is that a literal story?
Well, I believe that there were these very large waves of water that came off of the ice sheets. So this is a new theory that has not been proposed before. If you think about it, these were happening during the Ice Age, when our Earth was in an entirely different situation than today. That's why we don't see these things happening today.
Yeah.
But if you had these huge ice sheets and then suddenly the sun became very hot, and actually, let's say the Earth was being struck by a series of these coronal mass ejections, and heated up more than normal, you would have gotten huge lakes formed on the ice sheets. And you find this happening in Iceland today on a small scale, like where you get water, huge lakes of water formed on the glacier there at a high altitude due to volcanic heating. And eventually the dam breaks and this water sort of charges down. But during the Ice Age, this was happening on a much larger scale, so you were getting waves that were maybe 700 meters high, going at hundreds of kilometers per hour forward, and could have been 1,000 kilometers long or more.
So it's
because if it started, let's say at one point, it would then discharge further lakes and would sort of grow in size, like through a domino effect. So by the time it got to the edge of the ice sheet, it would be really huge and do this vast destruction.
And do you think that there's one place on Earth then that suffered more from this than another one? I'd reckon that the closer we were to the ice sheet, or the people who were to the ice sheet, the worse it would be, right?
Right.
It
would be more the cultures that were close to the ice sheet. You wouldn't expect as stories from, let's say, Africa, which is the case. Most of those stories come from northern or very southern areas. But you did have cases where these waves would continue across the ocean, like the ocean would be covered with sort of a slush due to the melting of the ice. It would form like a slush, and then these waves would just ride on top of that. Mm. And we find that they have deposited material in the oceans going out even 1,000 kilometers from the edge of the land. So these could have come quite a distance from the edge of the ice sheet. It would have come down as far in North America, even though the ice sheet ended around, let's say, Ohio or so. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You find evidence of these waves going all the way down into Mexico, as far as Mexico. You can see from aerial, just from the air, you can see these features, including the Grand Canyon. There's huge amounts of water carving these canyons in addition.
So do